Well, President Trump's State of the Union speech is set for next Tuesday, with the nation and the world anxiously awaiting what he might say. Somebody who will not be attending that address is U.S. Representative Ami Bera from Sacramento. He's here with me right now. Dr. Bera, good to have you here. I read your passionate explanation as to why you're not going. There are also some of your fellow legislators who are not going. You're skipping it. What was the thought process going in? If anyone who's read your note will understand why, you're very angry and upset about the state of affairs right now.
You know, I am. I've always generally attended the State of the Union out of respect for the office of the presidency. This year I can't do it just because of the president's total disregard for Congress, the role that we play in the federal government, the partnership that we have with the executive branch, and also his disregard for the Constitution. I've laid it out in an op-ed that's available on our website and certainly would encourage folks to go through the rationale. I also think he will use this as an opportunity to take digs at Democrats, which I don't think this is a venue where you stand up and protest. And I think he will also make exaggerations, perhaps outright lies towards Republicans, and make them demonstrate their fealty to him. And I think there's a better way for our country to come together.
Will you be in the area? Will you watch it on a feed, a television, or are you going to just completely boycott it?
No, I think it's my responsibility to hear what the president has to say and react. And you'll probably see me on some of the cable news stations and others sharing my thoughts.
So have you gotten any pushback from both sides about not being there in attendance?
Sure. So I understand the folks that say it is my responsibility to show respect for the office of the presidency, if not the president. Again, the president's not showing that respect for Congress either. So it's a two-way street. I do have responsibility to hear what the president has to say and share my thoughts and opinions. On the far left, a lot of folks want us to stand up and protest in the building. I have a reverence for the United States Capitol. That's a sacred place. I don't think that's the place to protest.
Because we are hearing that of the Democrats who will attend, there may be some, not like to maybe the Al Green from the last time, where they'll stand up, walk out, and obviously physically protest within the speech. Are you hearing that may happen as well?
I've heard that may happen, and some of the criticism is, well, Congressman, we want you to do that as well. That isn't who I am.
Do you have Republican friends in the legislature that you can talk to freely, sort of off the record, who are saying, I hear what you're saying, I feel what you're saying, there's very little I can do based on what I have to answer to?
I do have those friends. I'm friends with a lot of Republicans. Historically, I've tried to be nonpartisan and work across the aisle because we've got to represent the whole country. They do feel lost a bit. They're starting to find some of their voice. You see the Thomas Massey's of the world pushing back on what the president potentially may do, taking us to war in the Middle East again, but not enough. And I want us as Democrats to create that space where those Republicans that are uncomfortable with what they're seeing coming out of President Trump, even those moderate independents, can come over and say, let's create a pragmatic center. Let's get something done.
Before we're out of time, but the race for California governor, and I asked you off camera, is there someone that you're pulling for? And you gave me like 3 names. So let's not do that. Will you endorse someone when the time comes?
You know, thus far I haven't endorsed anyone. I've got a lot of friends running. I think we do as Democrats want to make sure a Democrat makes it into the general election. And now,
we'll see.
it's dangerous.
It is. Dr. Bera, thank you for joining us.
Of course.